Good morning. Thank you to those of you that voted on my poll over the weekend. I've got some time off this week, so I thought I would do some demos for you guys. What I'm going to do today is the Serum Foundation. It gives a radiant finish. It also has an SPF 30 in it, which you can't beat this weekend. It's also a light to medium cover as well, so really popular finish, really lovely range of colours. There's 22 shades in this particular foundation. If you're nervous about ordering colours, don't worry, I have samples for everybody. I bought a bundle of samples. Yeah, so let's get on with it. So I'm going to apply the Serum Foundation with my new favourite brush, which is the Avon domed foundation brush. In the past I've always used clean fingers, but actually I've realised how much foundation I've wasted over the years probably doing that. So here we go. So Avon claim that this gives up to 72 hours of hydration. So the fact that there's skincare infused with your foundation means that as well as just giving you cover and making you feel more confident in your skin, it's also using the time that it's on your skin to add some ingredients and benefit your skin. Avon claim that it boosts moisture by 200%, which isn't always something I need. I've got quite combination skin, which means I tend to get a bit of oily down the T-zone across the nose. However, I am noticing, particularly through lockdown, so I don't know if it's because my lifestyle's sort of altered slightly, that my skin has changed. Now that could also obviously be because I'm maturing, and I would naturally lose collagen and elastin in my skin as I age. And I've actually had a hysterectomy, so that's probably happening to me a little bit faster than some ladies my age. Now, I think if anybody that's been following me for some time, you'll know that I have quite sort of almost translucent eyes, which gives me quite a lot of colour, particular sort of like a lilac-y purpley pigment, which is basically just blood vessels. It's attractive, isn't it? Now I've got a bit of colour over the weekend, so this is probably, so I've caught a bit of sun. So this is probably a smidge lighter than I need to be. So I could probably play with colours. In fact, I've got loads of shades here. Put them down somewhere, I don't know where they've gone. So, you know I share warts and all. So I've got a chickenpox scar there from about when I was about 7 or 8. I have a scar here, just below my eyebrow, which is where my brother and I were fighting. He didn't hit me, he was too lovely for that. But we were arguing and we were tug-of-warring over an iron, and I had the cable and he let go of the cable and the socket flew past through my mum and dad's dining room hatch, hit me in the eye. Of course I don't let him let it go. So lucky it wasn't in my eye, as I keep reminding him. There you go. So it seems like a lot of faff, doesn't it, all that foundation brush, but obviously I'm trying to get the better finish for me, because it is the base of my makeup for the day. And if I get it right, then it will last. So that's the colour. So I'm really pleased with that base. What I'm going to do now, I'm still very much a fan of setting powder. And I use this at 2 stages. So I use this to set my foundation because I do wear a lot of foundation, because I have quite enlarged pores and I like the surface of my skin to look sort of almost photo ready. And also I've got lots of sort of thread veins and stuff starting to come through. So it really does give me that confidence to go out and look, not natural, but, you know, look like I'm even skin toned. Anyway, so my favourite, and I have to say, I am quite a slut when it comes to powder. I do swap for the newest thing. However, this is, it really is like a miracle in a pot. So this is the Lisa Armstrong. It's probably my most favourite item of her range, and it is the Fix Up Look Sharp setting powder. It comes in 2 shades. It comes in light and it comes in medium. So I use the light. I'm just going to swirl that round with the overall face brush from Avon, and literally nice circular motions. I'm just going to sweep over and just mattify and finish and get that ready for bronzing and powder. Now, probably the best way to do this would be for a kabuki brush. It's fine enough that you can go close to the eyes without it sitting in any lines and wrinkles and making you look more wrinkly than you are. And I just take it down my neck and literally feather it out to nothing. So I think those two work really well together. I really like that as a base. Now, if you're not one for bronzer and blusher, that's actually a really nice solid looking complexion. Another thing I probably should have said about the Fix Up Look Sharp powder is that it's very rare that I go without foundation, but sometimes when I've got some sort of self-tan on my face and I'm feeling quite confident in my skin, I have just gone on with quite a bit of that. So you can actually go makeup free with this. So yeah, just a little tip there. Okay, so you know I love my bronzer, probably too much. So although I'm looking quite pale today, I am going to go back to a trusty old fave actually, and that is the Avon bronzing pearls. We sell so many of these, and basically they're balls of bronzer, ooh. And you've got a real, I'll try not to tip them all out. So you've got a real sort of mixture of colours there, all different depths of warmth and cool tones to really give you a lovely finish. And literally a nice big headed brush. So I've got the all over face brush here, which is quite splayed as well, which is really good for this. But a kabuki brush would work as well. And literally, and so you can either dab on to get a really good cover, or you can swirl, which means it really works around the outer bristles as well. It just depends what you want to do. Now, I always tap off my excess and then light sweeping motion. So literally, I'm going to suck in my cheeks as much as I can, which is quite almost non-existent at the moment. But if you see when I do that, you get my natural line, and that's really where you want to sweep down. And very quickly, you can see how much transfer. Now you don't want to end up with a big brown stripe like that, because all that makes you look like you've got a dirty face. So I am going to ease that out slightly. And what you're trying to do is cheat the illusion that you've got like the sun shining down on your face. And also by making my sort of this inner area here, it naturally will contour the face to make it look slightly slimmer at this bit, which if you've got chubby cheeks like I have at the moment, it does work. However, it's just as good for adding colour all over your face. So you can really circular motion this in all over, starting really with building up around the outer frame. And you'll see all sorts of models at the moment that are really sporting, almost like a white piece here. Imagine like a seagull sitting on your eyebrows. yeah, and big white bits here, so they'll have a lot of light reflecting highlighter. So it just depends what you're trying to achieve, really. Obviously, at my age, I'm not trying to be Kim Kardashian, although I think I could give her a run for her money with her bottom. So I'm just trying to, I'm going to come down onto my jawline, not because I'm trying to tan there, but actually, again, it's cheating the illusion that I'm slightly slimmer here than I actually am. And you can already see there, because I'm actually really big. This is really big for me at the moment, obviously during lockdown and whatnot. I don't normally have this level of sort of flesh. So I'm quite fleshy, let's call it fleshy. And this really helps to sort of like slim that down a bit. Obviously, if you're wearing a white cotton shirt with a popped collar, nah, it's not going to work because it'll end up being an orange collar. Regardless of how good the staying power is of any makeup, you will end up with an orange collar. But if you're wearing a sundress, or if you're wearing something sort of with a little bit more room, then you can bring your powder down as far as you want. You can even go across your décolletage. You can even create almost like a bit more of a dipped collarbone here. So if you go along your collarbone, just to give you the illusion that you're not as chubby as you are. Or for those people that just want colour in the right place. Now, you know, there is a temptation when you come down your nose that you'll end up with a brown nose, brown frame. You just look like, you know, a brown smiley. And I do I'm giving myself a very light dusting. And I leave this part of my cheeks alone because, as you know, Louis loves the blusher. There we go. So that should fit in with the weather this weekend. I keep saying this weekend because for me it feels like a weekend because I don't often have a week off. So it's Tuesday, isn't it, today? Blimey. Okay, so there you go. So that's the bronzer on a really good base. So let's look at blusher. Okay, so today I'm going to use the 2-in-1 Cloud in Bubblegum. You'll remember from my initial use of these last summer, I did have a giggle because I'm just too heavy-handed, and there's such great pigment in this product. So literally, all I'm going to do is I'm going to smile, so it really pops my apples and my cheeks. And then literally I'm just going to apply this little bit of mousse on both sides. See, I just can't help myself. I start, and then I keep squeezing. Anyway, right, excuse my fingernails at the moment. I'm in between manicures, due to go tomorrow. I cannot wait. So literally, it's such a great product, such a great product. I love it. And it's such a great multi-purpose product. Because you can pop that in your handbag, and if all else fails and you run out of time, you can always add a little bit of colour and look really, really healthy. I love it. I think it's brilliant. And obviously you can use it on the lips as well. So that actually gives me quite a natural flush. And I try and I do like the apples of my cheeks because I do love a pink flush. And then I just slowly ease it up like a teardrop, which obviously then sits on top of the bronzer, and it gives me a really lovely, healthy glow. I'm going to set that very slightly just by stippling a bit of the setting powder, because it is a mousse and it's sitting on a powder finish. But that looks really natural, I think. So it's entirely up to you whether you apply your eyeliner before your eyeshadow. I always love to get my eyeliner done. I just have a small line that goes across the top of my eyelid, which just really adds or emphasises my eyelashes. And obviously because I'm blonde and fair, you know how much it transforms my face. Now, I've always been an Estee Lauder pencil person. So I've always used the Double Wear Okay, lots of people are double with hair and still love it, really love it. However, I've recently discovered the Avon Power Stay. This is quite new to me. So this is a 16-hour eyeliner. Now my average day is about at least 16 hours. So I need my eyeliner to really sort of stand its ground for the whole day. And what's great about this, it's got this lovely wheel at bottom, so I don't need a pencil sharpener or anything, and literally it glides on. It's so easy to transfer. So I very carefully, I don't try to pull my eyes about, as you can see. You know, I just want to try and sort of preserve this area. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in very carefully and above my eyelashes, a nice little neat line. There we go. It's very hard to do it in into a phone instead of a mirror. I think I've done it all right. Now I will go in and do the other eye in a minute, but what I just want to show you as well, because my second favourite product from the Lisa Armstrong range is the Miraculous Tattoo eyeliner. So there are loads of felt tip style eyeliners all over the market, and I've probably tried most of them. This one's got a fantastic nib, really straightforward, doesn't sting my eyes, doesn't give me any reaction, and it does stay put as well. So again, using the same technique, very careful. I'm not going to yank my eye, but literally I start with a very small, and then just blend that in. So that all that does very quickly creates a bit of a kitten flick, a bit of a click up. And obviously once I then put my mascara on and it gives that lift again, it just gives the idea that my eyes are really sort of almost Fino-like, which is what you're trying to achieve. And it gives you a lovely sort of natural lift, or the illusion of a lift, which, let's be honest, I've got quite a hooded eye, as you can see. So actually, if you can see my eye, it's actually sitting on my eyelid. So I quite often get transfer. If I don't use a really good eyeliner or a good mascara, I get quite a lot of smudge in here. So whatever I use has got to be, you know, it's got to be sort of resilient, and it's got to stay put. And this so far has worked for me. So fingers crossed it continues. I'm gradually getting worked off of my seat here because I have a puppy behind me. Oh, it's not me making all those noises, snoring. There we go. So that's my right eye done. Absolutely love this. Love it. If you're about to buy a new eyeliner, don't order one of those. And if you don't like it, I'll give you a refund. There we go. See how straightforward that is? You don't have to be a makeup artist to get that really nice finish. And of course, if I look at them, compare them, I'm probably a little bit heavier on my left eye by comparison to my right eye. So actually it would be really straightforward to go back in. That's probably how it needs to look. You know what it's like. Amy Winehouse, here I come. Probably just need to even that out a bit. There was a little knock at the door because doggy number 2 was sitting outside the door waiting to come in. So one of my sons decided that it was unfair that one was in here and the other one wasn't. So there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce you to the Radiant Rose palette. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this. One of the most challenging colours to use on the eyes is pink, because quite often if you don't do it right, you can look like you've been beaten up. And this palette's it's absolutely exquisite. You get so much range of pink here. And the finishes, so they go from matte to iridescent to glitter. There's all sorts of finishes. I don't know if the lighting's catching this. But obviously there's so much colour there. There's some really deep roses, right almost through to a plummies, you know, almost like pink golds, rose golds, you know, it's absolutely fabulous. Comes with this really lovely applicator too. Now, I'm not a great lover of a foam applicator, but sometimes they're spot on, they're just right. So between that and my eyeshadow brush here, which has gone walkies. My favourite eyeshadow brush, there you go, which is the 201 brush, eyeshadow brush, great for blending. We're going to create a little bit of a, yeah, I think we're going to go for a bit of a pink rainbow. And when I say rainbow, I don't literally mean I'm going to have stripes across my eyes, but that's the sort of design that's how I refer to that design, where you get different gradients as you're working up the way. You know, you can also get colours across the way as well. So that's the finish I'm going to go for today. So there we go. Okay, so that I use as few brushes as possible, I always start off with the light stuff. So I tend to start with the light at the top. That really gives you a natural lift. So I'm going to start with this really lovely, almost matte creamy finish here. It's quite light. I'm going to tap off my excess, and then I'm very carefully, because I don't want to end up with great big white panda eyes, I'm just going to sweep that across the top and then bring it down onto the lid, and you can see there what it does. It blends out it mixes and blends out, almost creating like a base for what else goes on. And actually, if you compare the two eyes, you've got a really nice sort of radiant finish already by comparison to that side. So let's even them out. Let's do them. There you go, it shows you the level of cover. Just like to say, I don't live by the seaside, but we have a resident little flock of seagulls that live on our estate and woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning. There we go. So even if I was to leave it at that, I've given myself a really nice sort of radiant sort of open eye. Anyway, I'm not going to leave it there. So with the little applicator, dual-ended applicator that comes with this particular product, I am going to use this really lovely, it's the third one along, so it's this one here, which I'm really sort of falling in love with. It's almost like a heather. It's got like a bit of an iridescent finish, but not in a too heavy way. You can see, if I get it as close as I can, you can almost see there's almost like a jewel sort of finish to that pink. And actually, I'm going to try it on the back of my hand just so we can see how the transfer goes. That's not bad, you know. That's not bad pigment at all, really. So let's have a little play. Let's have a little go. So that's what I've got loaded up on the... And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that very carefully along just the small part of my lower lid, which is where we go from the waterline into where the eye starts to crease, so into the eye socket in there. Okay. And what I love about using those darker colours on that lower lid, for me especially, I think it's quite flattering, especially when it sits above the... Do you see it? Because I've got quite hooded eyes, so as I lift that, it folds in nicely. So when I blink, you're going to get that really lovely heather sort of finish. Just a nice flash. So I'm going to do that again on the other side, on the other eye. It's a really, really soft applicator. It's very nice, actually. Being right-handed, I always find it so much easier to do the left eye by comparison to the right. And you can see I'm already starting to sort of sit on top of the eyeliner a bit there. There we go. So now with the other end of the rainbow, and technically you could have 4 different shades on this, which is what's really great about this particular applicator. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to use my blending brush. Sorry, giving you my ears to look at. I'm then going to go back to this sort of almost like opal shade, which is between the cream that I've used at the top and the heather I've used bottom. I'm going to use this here with my blending brush. And then literally, I'm just going to sweep that from the cream into the top of the heather. I do that both sides. As well as blending it and making it look more natural, as if it's just going from one tone to another, it also sets the darker shade as well. But it does also just give you that natural sort of smoky look. There we go. Right. So I'm now going to go back in with the applicator. And I'm really drawn, I don't know if you can see, but I'm really drawn to this end of the palette. And in particular, this sort of matte, almost matte, very deep, pinky, purpley colour. So there, that shows you the sort of shade. And I'm going to put that next to the heather. It gives you an idea of the sort of tone. Now, obviously, this is where you can lose it. And this is where I could look like I've had a fight with a cupboard door. All right, so I'm gonna, the very tip I've loaded up there, because what I want to do essentially is create almost like a little natural V, like a return. And because I've got such hooded eyes, I'm trying to give the illusion that my eyes aren't sort of quite as droopy. So there's not going to be loads of this. It's just going on the outer corner. Just do the same the other side. And I'm almost pushing it into the outer corner and into the crease. Now, if I left it like that, then clearly I would look like I've been to A&E. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in with my blending brush. And these are really simple to clean, actually. If I just get a wet wipe, I can literally very carefully sort of press and sweep that away and then leave that to dry. So I'm now going to go in, back in with that pinky opaly colour. So first of all, I'm just going to little, very, very tiny, not big because we're not going to spread it around the eyes, but I'm literally little tiny circles into the crease to diffuse the colour somewhat. I just love it. I think it's such a beautiful palette. Okay. Get another brush because we've used the dark colour, obviously. And then I'm going to go back in with my original sort of colour and just come down to it. Almost mattifying. And softening that deeper shade. Now what will really make this is when we go in with mascara. That's when it really comes to life. If you look sideways and you see the shade, and when I blink, you get this just lovely flash of sort of really deep pinks and sort of mauves. Okay, so before we move on to the eyeshadow, I'm just going to go in and sharpen up my eyeline again. Just do that on both sides, and that just covers up any fallout from eyeshadow, because I do like a dark eyeline. So that was with the Lisa Armstrong Miraculous Tattoo Eyeliner again. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to something that's new in this month's book, and that is the Lash Primer Volumizer. So basically it's a lash prepping primer, and you can wear it under any mascara. Today I'm gonna twin it with the Avon Euphoric, because actually you can buy the two for £10 this month. So this is the Avon Lash Supreme Volumizer. So this has got sort of conditioning keratin, look at that, conditioning keratin and castor oil, so it really is quite nourishing. Yeah, and what I love about this, I've never seen actually a primer that's quite so clear and also has got such a lovely fine brush, so it really does should grab the lashes. So here we go. And this will help with clumpiness, it'll help to volumize and really build healthy looking lashes. Now you'll see that my lashes will appear even whiter than they normally do. And what that does is because it's adding that volume, it's giving each lash, it's giving it a coating of primer, which obviously then will work to hold colour to the lashes better and to look more volumized. It's a bit like putting mousse in your hair. So it's like, yeah, imagine that. So that's a really good analogy actually. It's like putting mousse in your hair. So if you're a lady that likes, or a gentleman that likes adding volume to your hair, this is the same thing but for the lashes. Really comfortable brush, doesn't irritate at all. Now you can use it on the lower lashes. I'm really fortunate, I've got really full lashes, and actually because I'm blonde I like my lashes to look quite fine. I just like a coating of black, so I'm not going to volumize my lower lashes, but I am going in for a second time. So that's what they look like with the primer. I'm going to give that a minute to dry before we go in with the Euphoric. Now if you buy the primer on its own this month, it will be £8 normally, and for this month it's launching at £6.50, but obviously if you buy it with the Euphoric you get it for £10, which is a really good deal. But equally so, if you've already got a mascara that you're in love with, then you can just use it under any mascara that you use. But today I'm going to use the Euphoric just to sort of give you an indication of what's lovely about the Euphoric is it's got this really lovely concave brush. So it's fatter at the base of the brush bristles at either end, and then you've got this lovely sort of shape in the middle, which really gives you a lovely curled, extended look, which almost sort of naturally recreates the illusion of sort of a false lash, which if you like that sort of really full-on volumized look, this is absolutely the right product for you. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a bit of a very light highlighting. I'm not a great one for highlighting because I just genuinely get quite carried away and end up looking like Metal Mickey. So again, we're going back to the Lisa Armstrong range, and we've got the Gleam Supreme highlighter. This time I'm going to use in Sparkle in Pink. In the past I've used the gold equivalent. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, the packaging, it's this lovely rose gold, and it comes with a lovely clasp, mirrored compact, and there you go, you can see, I don't know if you can see the shimmer, really pretty. Anyway, so really nice sort of domed, oh, I've got the wrong brush, what am I like? Here we go. Da, 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 da. So literally I stipple, tap, and then literally very lightly stipple, tap. And on the tip of my nose, very tip of my nose, almost like that is enough for me. Okay, so the final bit of our transformation, I wanted to tell you about these new serum-infused lipsticks. So what can I say? The original, I was really gutted when they said that they were going to get rid of the lip conditioner, because it's one of my go-to products, and actually has always been. Even before I sort of became an Avon rep, I used to order it every sort of like 3 months because I just loved it as a conditioner. So I was a little bit sort of thinking, oh God, they got rid of a product I really love. But actually they then introduced the colour serum lipstick. So I've got the serum on its own, which I wear before I go to bed, or if my lips are feeling particularly dry, pop that on. In fact, you might have been able to see that all the way through this makeover. I put that on as soon as I clean my teeth. I go in and nourish that. Fantastic packaging. It's almost Clinique-like actually in its casing. Lovely shape, you know, chiseled top, and really goes on very nicely. And then in addition to the clear lip treatment, you've also got 15 shades. Yeah, so the shades range from really lovely sort of pale pinks right through to sort of quite vibrant ruby sort of maroons. Now of course, Lou being Lou, it has to be a pink, and I do like quite pale pinks. This is called Refreshing Petal. All right, so it looks quite bold, but actually I can promise you, because of the nature of the sheer, the colour, it's quite light. Look at that, what a lovely colour. Now put that in with the Radiant Rose Eyes, which I'm getting no discomfort from, really comfortable to wear. I've got this lovely lash primer, I've got this serum-infused foundation, and now I've got a serum-infused lipstick. I just need to dry my pink hair. Now I'm done. Now that really does feel comfortable, so it's quite nourishing on my actual lips themselves. But also what I love about it is, as I'm maturing, as you know, I can talk for England, and I do kiss Grant a lot, and you'll notice I drink tea as well, that I'm like my grandmother. I naturally have these lines that stop me from wearing some bolder colours, and that really is a worry for me because I love lipstick, absolutely love lipstick. Now I've been wearing the clear serum for about a fortnight now, so us reps got to buy it earlier, which is one of the benefits of being a rep. And already I'm starting to see some benefits to it. I'm also convinced that wearing a mask, and it's not so much the environment inside the mask, I think it's the fact that I use my face a lot to hold my mask up or down or move it or and I'm convinced that's accelerated these lines. I'm convinced of it, because for the last sort of a year, 18 months, I've been wearing a mask, and I definitely noticed it's got worse. And that could have just been time, and it could have been that, you know, I'm approaching 50, and that is part of what comes with being that age. But I do think, see those lines? Ooh. Anyway, so there you go. I'm just going to finish off, dry my hair, and hopefully I'm a pink princess. So there you go. That's my final, almost final look. So I'm just going to go in literally there you go. What do you think? I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. If there's anything I can do for you in regards Avon, please just drop me a message. Whatever question it might be, even if it feels silly, don't be silly. I'm more than happy to answer for you. I've got samples of most things, so if you haven't got the courage to necessarily take the plunge, then I'm more than happy to send you some samples as well. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great Tuesday. It's absolutely beautiful weather out there, and I'll see you soon.